Has the Steam Summer Sale officially taken all of your money, and now you don't have anything to invest into CSGO skins? Well, fate has brought you to the perfect video then. Hello guys, my name is Nalo, and in this video we're going to be talking about some cheap CSGO investments. These are going to be items that are not going to cost you pretty much anything at all, so if you want to buy a huge quantity of them, that's also very possible. So let's take a look at some of these cheap investments after a word from our sponsor, GamerPay. This video is sponsored by GamerPay, the best place to buy and sell CSGO items. So the first and most important thing that you need to know about GamerPay right now is that they actually have 0% fees using the GamerPay wallet, which means you can trade your items out on GamerPay completely for free. Another super cool feature of GamerPay that I absolutely love is the ability to get a 3D shop, which allows buyers to check out all of the items that you're selling on GamerPay in an environment which lets you kind of view what the item would look like in game. GamerPay also has a lot of settings to improve your experience. For example, you can compare items on GamerPay to their buff prices, which I really like. When you're checking out an item, you can see a full breakdown of all of the qualities of the item and the seller, and you can even get some chances to win some items just by completing some tasks on the website. It's really easy to buy and withdraw items from GamerPay. Just find the item you want, do the trade offer, and then boom, the item is in your inventory, ready for you to go use and flex on your silver teammates. But besides all those really cool features, you should definitely be using GamerPay right now just because of their fee structure alone. 0% fees for buyers and sellers using the GamerPay wallet is a great deal and puts GamerPay ahead of so many other markets. Speaking of sellers, there's a myriad of great features for you as well. For example, you can make the items that you have listed follow the buff price of the items so you don't have to monitor them as much. You can also view the analytics of certain items to see how they're performing. So with all these great features and more, it's really a no-brainer. You can visit GamerPay using my link in the description below. Alright guys, wasting absolutely no time, let's talk about the first cheap investment. So this is going to go to an item that's really going to make QB mad for me talking about it again, but it's going to be the MP9 Army Sheen. So a quick little rundown on this item. Essentially, it's a consumer grade from the Control collection, which means it eventually does trade up to the blue phosphor. This gives it a solid amount of long-term demand, especially considering that you can't create any more of these, the supply is capped. Furthermore, the reason that the MP9 Army Sheen is the better of all of the consumer grades is because it has the lowest float cap, which means it's a little bit easier to get these in lower floats, which are more preferred for trade-ups. These did pump up quite a bit when I first talked about them, going up to around 60 cents or so on the Steam market. Since then, they've now come down to around 38 cents, which is closer to what they were before I talked about them in the first place. So I want to use that as a cautionary tale as to why you shouldn't just blindly buy into anything that I talk about. Do your own research. If something looks like it's pumped up because there's a lot of people just buying it because I said it was a good investment, that's not going to be a long-term solid price, so you'll want to wait until it comes back down. Anyway, that's going to be the first spot on our list. Very cheap, so you can get a large amount of them if you want. Next up, talking about a case, we have the Snakebite case. Now I know what you might be thinking. Snakebite case, that's still in the active drop pool. How is that going to be a good investment? Well, I guess the best way to describe why the Snakebite case could be a good option is that this is sort of a MacGyver solution. This isn't really an investment that's going to be based on a ton of really solid fundamentals, but rather you're taking a chance on the CS2 hype. So the theory for this one is that when CS2's beta actually publicly releases to everybody and a large amount of people are actually able to play CS2, there will be another case hype like we saw when CS2 was first announced. When this first case hype happened, Snakebite cases were able to make it all the way up to around $1.20 on the Steam market, which is a lot higher than their current price of around 30 cents. So provided that we do get another case hype, which would make a lot of sense, the primary content creation that's going to happen when the CS2 beta starts will likely be case unboxings, which should influence a lot of people to also unbox cases. And since Snakebite cases should be the case with the lowest barrier to entry, they should in theory see a decent price spike despite being in the active drop pool. So the goal for this is to buy a large quantity of them around now, while their price is comparatively low, and then if CS2 is as successful as it's projected to be, selling off all of your Snakebite cases at that hype should be a pretty good move. Moving on to the next spot, we have the Atlanta 2017 papers. A little bit of a weird one here. Wanted to make sure that I talked about some stickers though that aren't Paris, Stockholm, or Antwerp because those are getting a lot of attention already. Now the Atlanta 2017 papers are surprisingly cheap. Considering these are also supply capped and you can't make any more of them, it's pretty surprising how cheap these actually are. In fact, I recently made a North Papercraft and that and each of those stickers was only around $1.40 on the Steam market. Now these are paper stickers, of course, they're not hollows or foils, but they still give that nice Atlanta look, which has been a historically very popular sticker year. All you have to do is take one look at the liquid foil. So again, this is a little bit more of a niche option. Figured I'd throw it in here. They are still very cheap, and if Copenhagen is a fourth iteration of borderless stickers, that could create some sort of a fatigue and people may look towards the more unique bordered stickers. The next spot is going to go to Train 2021 purples or blues. Again, a little bit more of a weirder 1. So of course these aren't supply capped, you can get more of them in trade-ups, so the Train 2021 collection is a very odd one. Unlike other Operation collections, the Train collection actually allowed you to choose the tier of item that you wanted to get. This also gave us the M4 Coalition and the Glock Gamma Doppler Emerald, which are now two of the most prominent skins in the entire game. The Train purples or blues are essentially aiming again for that trade-up hype. The Train pink to red trade-up is actually really popular because there are so many outcomes you can get thanks to how the Gamma Doppler phases work in trade-ups, but the Train pinks are actually quite expensive, so that's why I recommend looking at the purples or blues. And that's about all there is to say on this. Unobtainable from in-game means, and important trade-up pieces. And also side note, the Glock Gamma Doppler is of course one of the most desired items going into CS2, since the Glock Gamma Doppler looks so nice on the new lighting engine, so there should be a lot of demand for this collection. Alright everybody, moving on to the very last spot, we have Norse and Canal's collection consumer grades. So there's not really too much to explain here. Again, these are just supply capped items, but what makes this recommendation a little bit different from the Control collection recommendation is that the Op Fade is not the covert that sits at the top of the collection. Instead, it's actually the Gungnir or the Wild Lotus, which are two of the most desired coverts in the entire game. Now, the Steam market price of these consumer grades is around $3, so they are still very cheap. Norse will be a beloved and desired collection deep into the recesses of CS, and with it being impossible to get any more of these consumer grades, it should be relatively surefire, although no profit is ever guaranteed. And with that, that's going to close off the list. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like on it. It helps me massively and costs you absolutely nothing. Also be sure to subscribe to the channel for the best CS investment tips anywhere else on YouTube. Go ahead and check out my Discord server or my Twitter. You can DM me on there at any time. My DMs are open and I will answer any of your questions completely for free. And finally, be sure to check out GamerPay. If you use my link and make a purchase of 50 euros or more, we actually both get a nice little €5 bonus, and with the 0% fees, it's really a no-brainer. Thanks guys, see you next time, peace.